Hi, folks. My name is Dr. Crystal Howard, and I'm a professor in the Department of Interdisciplinary and Liberal Studies here at CSUN. I teach classes in the English department on children's literature, adolescent literature, comic studies, and I also teach classes in the Interdisciplinary and Liberal Studies department for future teachers. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about organization and specifically about creating a writing and research plan for yourself for either a semester time frame or for the summer. So first, the resource that I want to introduce you to is the writing plan. So I'm going to talk you through how I use this writing plan in my own research and writing to keep me organized, on track, and productive. And I hope that you find this useful and are able to use it in your own writing. So first, when I use this writing template, the way that I came about this writing template was that I went to a faculty development workshop and somebody was using something very similar. And I have used it ever since. And that began in about 2018. So I've been using it pretty successfully. As you can kind of see, these are some of my past writing plans, something that I've been using for quite some time. So here's how you get started. So this is the template, and I have this ready to go. I work out whether I'm doing something for the summer, the spring, or the fall semester. I set out the number of weeks I have to work during the semester, and then I give myself the dates so that I can keep on track. And then I have these two areas down here about major projects and grants that I'm working on and the specific days that I want to work. So I'm going to show you an example of how I'm using this for creating a plan for this summer for myself. So first, I know that I have a conference coming up. Here are the dates. I know that I have an essay coming up due at the beginning of August and a revision of a chapter that I've been working on due at the end of August. So I like to use those deadlines to kind of work backwards. So I know that I have a conference paper to present at the end of the month coming up here. When I'm thinking about the days that I have to work on writing and revision in the summer, I have Monday through Thursday. So that's just something that I keep in mind there for the summer. Whereas for the fall or spring semesters, I may only have 1 or 2 days a week to work. So I'm getting started this week. I usually give myself 1 day to prep and plan. That's what I'm doing today. And then after that time, I like to break down the writing that I'm doing in little segments. So for example, I have a conference paper coming up due. I know that I have a 15-minute session, which means I can present about 8 typed pages. So 8 pages is about 300 words per page, is about 2,400 words. So I know that I need to then write about 2,400 words, and I have about 2 weeks to do that writing. So I'm going to set a goal of 300 words per day for that conference paper. Okay. So that's what I have planned to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. I'm going to do the same for next week. And then I'm also going to give myself a little revision, revision and like editing day. Okay. So that's how my next 2 weeks are going to play out there. I'm going to be traveling that third week and presenting. Now I have a few more weeks where I'm working on this essay. This is a co-authored essay, so I have about 2,000 words. I like to keep my writing goals per day to around 300 to 400 words. So I'm going to shoot for 400 words a day on this essay, which means I need about a week to do the drafting. But I'll also want to be able to have some editing time in there. So I know that's what I want to do for my essay, but I also know that I have a meeting with the other co-authors this week. Okay, so I know that I'm probably not going to start working on the essay until that point. So I'm going to move that down here and give myself these 2 weeks, this week to work on the writing. You'll see I have a little break in here. I like to take a 2-week break in the summer. Then I'm going to come back this week and finish up the days that I don't work on. That means during this week, I'm going to be doing some prep for the essay, and that means lots of reading. Great. All right, so I have my kind of goals set out there. I know I need 5 days between these 2 weeks of writing. I'm also going to build in some editing and revising days as well. Probably I'm planning to have another writers meeting sometime mid-month, right? So we can finalize the essay. Okay. And then my last thing that I'm working on this summer is chapter revisions. So those are going to be due at the end of August. And I can kind of see I'm giving myself some leeway on a few of these projects here. So, instead of doing like words per day with this, I'm going to give myself just some editing days because that's really what this chapter revision is all about. And for me, I know I'm usually going to take about 2 weeks to work on this. And then I've given myself kind of 2 extra weeks at the end of my writing time here, just because I know I might have another project coming up. And I want to give myself some flexibility. So that's kind of how I work out my writing plan. You can kind of see what's going on there. I sometimes will break down that daily work here at the bottom of my plan. You can see that see what I've done. This is an example of a completed example from this past spring. As you can see, sometimes writing doesn't go to plan. Sometimes you have to slot in additional things. And this plan is also really flexible in case you have research and writing, but you're also working on anything else. For me, this was journal editing work over here, but you can kind of add something in there. The final thing I wanted to talk to you about was time blocking. So in addition to using that writing plan, I also like to do daily time blocking. I actually have a printed version of this Passion Planner that I use, but they also have free weekly layouts that you can download and print out, which are really great. And I'll give you a link to that as well. I hope that you found this interesting and useful. Best of luck as you work on organizing your academic writing.